Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. How are you? I'm in the bathroom, freshening up my makeup. So, how was your Friday? Girl, whew, I am so glad that you had a great week. Well, at least that's what I'm hoping that you had. And I want to sing this song again that says, ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. And you know what? I believe that. You know, there are days where we just don't have everything planned. We have everything in order, and then all of a sudden something comes in and changes the plan. Some days we wake up and we thought we had everything on our calendar, but this particular day we forgot to add it. Whatever the circumstances is, whatever the situation may be, you feel some kind of way. You know, how did this happen? Why was I not prepared? Why didn't I know to do this? Well, instead of beating yourself up, how about singing, ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. I wanted to share this story with you. I was in the little old man store, Ollie's. And it was an older lady that was there, and I had went in for a Bible. And while I was there, I was just going through the line and going through the aisle and just trying to find maybe a Bible. And it wasn't a lot of a selection today. But anyway, sometimes God will place you where you think you're looking for one thing, and then you realize you weren't looking for anything. He put you there for a reason. And that's what happened today with me. I met this older lady, and she told me, she said, you know, she says, ma'am, can you help me? I know you've had children before. And I says, no, ma'am, no, I'm not a mother. And I says, but I am a teacher. She says, well, I knew you had to have something to do with children. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she says, well, I want to prepare my grandchildren for the next school year. So over the summer, I like to get them some workbooks. And I said, wonderful. You are doing a great thing. You are doing a great thing. And I'm very proud of you for that. I said, because a lot of our parents do not realize that our children still have to work academically over the summer, or they may tend to regress, meaning they may lose some of the material that they were taught. So it's always good to give them at least, I would say 30 minutes. 30 minutes of some type of workbook and some type of reading and comprehending of that particular passage that he or she read. Oh, and you know what? For the books, have them to write about what they read. Yeah, and that way you already have covered everything. So going back to this lady, she told me, she said, you know, she said, can you pray for me? And I said, yes, I can pray for you. I said, is there something in particular you want me to pray about? She said, you know, she says, my daughter, she passed away 2 years ago. And she left 3 children. And the children are staying with me. But I feel some kind of way because I lost my child. And that's just not how I was expecting it to be. Well, as I was going down through the aisle, I had read this book, but I'm determined. I am determined that, Cindy, if you don't need it, it's going to stay there. I don't care what you see at Ross. If you don't need it, it's going to stay there. I don't care where you are, what you're doing. And I even did good today with not even picking up any candy. But I didn't mean to tell that part, but that is true. I didn't pick up any candy. Because if I have it here, I'm going to eat it all weekend. And then on Monday, I feel some kind of way. But anyway. Ooh, child, things are going to get easier. Ooh, child, things are going to get brighter. So anyway, the young lady or the older lady comes up and she says, can you help me? And can you pray? And I says, I sure can. And she says, I lost my fellowship. I lost my love. I lost my quality time with God. I just feel some kind of way. And I was going down the aisle and I was reading these books and the titles, and I was like, man, that book right there looks like an awesome book. Because the book said, was I prepared for this? Sometimes we think we are not prepared. But you're more prepared than you think you are. You really are. And I told that lady, I said, you know what? I've never read this book, but I love the title. Because so many times in life, we don't feel prepared. A lot of times, things catch us off guard. A lot of times it's not on our schedule. It's not on our books. And we just don't know how to deal with those things sometimes. And what I'm learning, it's not even always about you. Sometimes it's about your family. Sometimes it's about your friends. Sometimes it's about colleagues. Sometimes it's just about neighbors. And sometimes you just don't know how you're going to make it through. But I told her, I said, you know, ma'am, you can give up on a lot of things, but I would never suggest you to give up on God. No. He loves you. And I know you don't quite see why you're going through what you're going, but there's a reason. And trust me, God will show you. So I told her I would pray with her. I've already said a prayer for her. And I told her, you know what? It's going to get better. It's going to get easier. And then it's going to get brighter. And she says, thank you so much for talking to me. So, you know, don't feel some kind of way whenever God tells you to go to a location that was not on your agenda. Don't feel some kind of way when God tells you to talk to someone that you don't even know. That was one of my best conversations I've had in a very long time. And I want to leave it with you. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. You know, it's just like night and day. Night only lasts from the evening until the morning. And day lasts from morning until night. No, you're not going to always experience darkness. You're not going to always experience sadness. Some may be experiencing depression. Some may be in a situation similar to the lady that I talked to today. But remember, it's going to get easier. It's going to get brighter. And you know what? It says someday. It may be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But guess what? We know it's going to be someday. I want to share a little nugget with you. I went to Tanya Outlet, and that is for me in Smithfield. At the Tanya Outlet, they have, not all of them, but at some of them, they have what is called the Cosmetic Company. The Cosmetic Company. It has a section where you can buy MAC, Estee Lauder, Lancome, Too Faced, Bobbi Brown. There is a section, depending on when you go, depending on what their inventory is, there's a section that you can have 75% off of whatever the price is. Do you know I brought this MAC, cute color, more like a mauve, orange, coral color. And then what you say, red. I mean, the red that's on my lips. And this is called MAC Smash. So, if you're ever in that area and you happen to see the Cosmetic Company, go there. You might can find some of your makeup for a good price. So, until then, just know that trouble don't last always. Just know that it's going to get easier and it's going to get brighter. And also, never, never give up on God. He's the best thing that could have, will have been to you and for you. I love you. Have a great weekend. See you later. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things are gonna get brighter. I love you. Bye.